The usual case law relating to recusal is inapplicable in the instant case. As a matter of fact, if I say to you very, very respectfully, if there are parties, and indeed there are, who do not want or who do not wish to see you hear this matter, please walk out. You are not the only judges in the country at all. Let another panel of judges be appointed to hear this matter. My Lord, if I may say so very respectfully, to refer to my own history. When you reach my age, you keep on looking at your history. I remember there were one or two expatriate judges, colonial judges. The moment you said to him, to him, but Your Lordship, I would like you not to hear this matter. I want you to recuse yourself. His response was, okay, Khaminwa, if you don't want me to hear this case, let another judge hear it. That is the attitude you should take. Those of us who have had the advantage of receiving higher education know when you're dealing introduction to philosophy, you are taught that perception, the first course you take is perception and reality. Perception and reality. When you're studying philosophy, perception is a very important concept when it comes to the arena of politics. Reality may be completely different. And indeed, I believe it is different in the case before Your Lordships. I appear before you very often. I've never entertained any idea about your standing in relation to justice. But the perception now that has been painted by my able, learned friends, clients, Mr. Ndegwanjiru, Mr. Kibe, and Mr. Macharia, that there is a sizable portion of the Kenyan population which will not be happy to hear you sit and listen to this case at all. And may I remind Your Lordships very respectfully, impeachment is politics of the country. There's no way you can move away from that at all. I would respectfully refer you to a book I've taken the trouble to read.
Your Honor, sorry for the interruption. We are muted again. Perhaps you could be unmuted so that we follow the proceedings.
I wonder why it has happened in respect of Khaminwa. Can I speak now? Can I speak?
Yes, sir. You've not been muted.
Yeah.
Yes. Your Honor, there is a book here, Politics of Presidential Impeachment. Politics of Presidential Impeachment. I've taken the trouble during the weekends to read this book. Impeachment is politics of the country. There is no way you can remove it from the politics of the country at all. And that's why I'm saying, Your Lordship, very respectfully, that as you have been told, there are some people who feel very strongly that you should not hear this case. Get out. Let them get other judges to hear the case. You have no vested interest in the matter. There's no reason for you to remain in the case when other people do not want you to hear the case at all. May I remind you, my lords, when you are hearing impeachment cases, advocates should be able to think broadly and bring to your notice the culture of the people that you are serving. There is a little song there's a song that is sung by a little girl in Kenya. To those of us who listen to the Kenyan radio may have heard of it. She says in Kiswahili, Kenya ni nchi ya watu akili kidogo. She sings very beautifully. Kenya ni nchi ya watu kidogo. Na wanataka kitu kidogo ndio wafanye kitu. Majority of our people are not the people who are in this courtroom at all. The majority of our people are people who have not had the advantage of receiving the education, the training that the judges and the advocates and the members who are in this room at all. And as one of my learned friends very ably pointed out, majority of the people believe that the case before you has been engineered by the politics of the country. Indeed, if some of them believe that your lordships cannot hear them, again, I say to you very, very respectfully, you stand to lose nothing. You better leave the case, let other people hear the case, and you will continue to maintain your name. My lords, to go back to the politics of impeachment, this matter was first heard in the National Assembly. The National Assembly very overwhelmingly stated that the Deputy President had been impeached. It was then referred to the Senate, and the Senate again stated very overwhelmingly that the Deputy President was guilty and convicted him accordingly. My lords, the stories that one hears in the streets of Nairobi, the stories that one hears elsewhere, you cannot afford to ignore it. Stories like members of parliament were each given a handsome amount of money. That may be so or may not be so, but it doesn't matter. They have made their point that members of parliament received bribes and they handed down a decision which majority of people believe that it was a corrupt decision. You cannot afford to ignore that. Now, when you go to the Senate, you are told the same thing, that the members of the Senate received money in what is called, is it white bahasha or something of the sort, white bahasha. They received money from known people. Again, you cannot afford to ignore that at all. Now, when they come to the judiciary, they expect the best. They expect people who have got integrity. They expect people who can hear them and whom they cannot suspect at all. But if then they are suspecting some people, whether truthfully, whether honestly or not, it is my humble submission, the natural thing as a judge, if I was sitting where your lordships are sitting, I would say, as Khaminwa, I'm walking out. Do not sit. It is the judiciary that people have got confidence in. And if I may remind you, lordships, very respectfully, it is the judiciary that people of Kenya actually have respect for. It is the judiciary, the judges, that people think that can do good in Kenya. When we had a problem in the year 2007, It is the judiciary that saved the country. When we had a problem recently during the time of President Uhuru Kenyatta, and the matter went to the Supreme Court, it is again the judiciary that saved the country. Now, if you find that people now are questioning the very institution of the judiciary, it is my humble submission that as a judge, move out. Say thank you, I'm moving out. That does not necessarily mean that there is something wrong with you at all. And as I've said, my lords, I've spent many years appearing before your lordship, Mr. Justice Ogola, in Mombasa. At no time did anybody ever open his mouth and say to me that, Khaminwa, this Justice Ogola is this, is this, is this, is this. Nobody ever did it. My Lord, Mr. Justice Murima, I've had the privilege of appearing before you in many cases. There are cases where you have given me rulings. There are cases where you have not given me orders at all. But at no stage did I ever entertain an idea that there's something wrong with Justice Murima. We have confidence in all of you. But now we have this concept of perception. There are some people who feel very strongly that Justice Ogola should be out. Justice Murima should be out. My lady judge, may I say I'm leading you, I'm not discriminating against you. I'm one who has fought for rights of women. And I kept on shouting very loudly that we want women judges. I have not had the fortune of appearing before you very often.
Actually, you have on a couple of times.
I was sorry. My memory is letting me down because of the age. Yes. But my lords, may I say, I have had the opportunity of appearing before you. And may I say this, my lords, if you go and check Judicial Service Commission records, you will not find a single letter from John Khaminwa complaining against any judge. I have never done such a thing at all. It's because I've got confidence in our judges. I've got confidence in our magistrates that they deliver justice. But I'm just saying you, my lords and my lady, if at this time we have some people who feel very strongly because that they may not get justice before you at all, please walk out. Don't continue to hear the case. And indeed, the people who are saying that your lordships or my lady should not hear this case, when they are speaking, you cannot really criticize them. They have got some valid complaints. My lords, United States of America, which I had the opportunity and the privilege of getting and studying their jurisprudence, they gave me additional legal education. United States of America, which has an impeachment provisions like Kenya, for 200 years, there is no president or deputy president who has been impeached and the impeachment has succeeded. None at all. None at all. Kenya, a young country which got the first constitution involving impeachment provisions, came into operation in 2010, and in 2024, we are now being told the deputy president has been impeached successfully, has been found guilty. Is it unreasonable to suspect there is something wrong? Is it unreasonable to suspect that someone is doing something wrong? Gachagua may be a nut, may not be probably properly educated, but he's a deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. Why should he be the first one within such a short time to be impeached in the country? Can't you suspect there is something wrong? That you are not doing some things properly? That America, which has had impeachment provisions for 200 years, has never successfully convicted someone for impeachment at all, a politician?
Thank you, Dr. Khaminwa.